Oh, hi, what's up, bucko?
How was your conversation?
It was good. It was a nice little circle jerk.
Was he a lawyer? Because he said he wrote for Just Security, and I think that's like a legal blog. So I assume he's a lawyer.
I don't think so. I think he said he was an economist or something. I don't think so.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Wait, have you done your debate yet today?
My debate.
Just kidding. I thought you and Hutch were having a convo with Crystal,
Kyle?
Ball, and Kyle.
Kyle and Crystal. Yeah, that was last week.
Oh, wait, how long ago has it been since I've seen you?
I think we chatted yesterday or the day before. Yeah, it happened on, I think, last Wednesday. It was good. It was good. It was civil. He put it down as a heated debate.
Wait, I saw you yesterday? No, wait, when was I at your house?
You talked to me like 2 days ago
Yeah.
after your conversation with the crazy lady. The
Yeah, okay, never mind. I
leftist
meant when
Marjorie
I saw you
Taylor
in real life. Fuck you. Okay.
Greene. Oh, you saw me in South Carolina.
Yeah. How
Saw
was
me-
it?
Yeah, you saw me 2 days before the Kyle.
Yeah,
debate.
okay. How did your conversation go? I haven't even watched it yet.
It went well. Again, he marked it as a heated debate, but it was super chill, and they were both pretty reasonable. Kyle got a little. I don't want to say this. Kyle proposed an unorthodox approach to try to getting Joe Manchin in line by President Biden that I think most people would say is either very corrupt or legally dubious, which was threaten to prosecute Joe Manchin's daughter if Manchin didn't comply with Biden's legislative agenda. But that aside, which we talked him down from that, and I think we made the case successfully that even if you endorse such ruthless tactics, and I want Democrats to be pretty ruthless, but even if you think that that's on the table, that's just going to backfire because Merrick Garland would resign, number one. Joe Manchin, number two, would say, fuck you. He'd go public with this. He'd quit the Democratic Party, perhaps become a Republican, which would increase his chances of getting reelected in West Virginia, and then you get nothing accomplished. So even Crystal, I expected Crystal would be the most hostile to our ideas, but she was pretty chill the whole time. So I would say that was mostly a circle jerky conversation, but it was good. It was fun. It was good bridge building.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you have anything particular you want to talk about, or am I allowed to talk?
No, you're allowed to talk.
Okay. Can I read to you for 2 minutes?
Sure.
Okay. Are you listening? Are you ready?
I am. I'm listening.
Okay. Fuck, I didn't. Okay, I'm reading. Ready?
Sure.
I want to write an op-ed for a media website. Okay, and I'm reading you what I might send in. Okay, that's what this is. Ready?
Okay. Can you wait a minute?
What?
Wait a minute. Can you also send this? I can hear you, but if I can read along at the same time, that'd be better for me. Can you do that, or is it something you have to dictate?
It's something.
Copy paste.
I'll copy paste it when I finish reading it to you. Okay.
All right. Fine. Sure.
Okay. My title is "Let me make this perfectly clear. I will never vote for Donald Trump." Okay.
Okay.
As you're now aware, Donald Trump is leading in polls across some of the swing states, and the future of the election looks precarious. There are two brief thoughts on where we go from here. One, many people have asked me what I'll do if, as is incredibly likely at this point, Trump tragically wins the election. Will I? Fuck, I can't do this. Never mind.
No, do it.
No, I didn't. I didn't. Fuck, I didn't proofread this enough. Fuck, my bad. Never mind. Okay, this isn't. I'm just gonna read this. Ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Sorry. Fuck. Two brief thoughts on where we go from here. Many people have asked me what I'll do if, as is incredibly likely at this point, Trump tragically wins the nomination. Will I coalesce around the nominee and support my party? They wonder. This is an op-ed from somebody else. Okay. The answer is no. Also, hell no. Also, how dare you even ask me that? I have spent months calling Trump what he is: a con man, a tyrant, a pathological liar, a flamboyant despot, a fraudster, a big government liberal, progressive in a very poorly fitting and unconvincing conservative costume, a Planned Parenthood apologist, an unrepentant philanderer, a crook, a creep, a fascist with a spray tan, a reality TV Mussolini, a Caligula with a bad haircut, etc. How could I possibly vote for a guy who I've just described this way? How could I possibly unite around this man when I've spent months correctly observing the fact that he's a scam artist who lies about everything, including his opposition to illegal immigration? It would be nonsensical. It would negate everything I've said about him and make me as big a fraud as Trump himself. So let me make this clear. I will never vote for Donald Trump, not even if he's running against Hillary Clinton, not even if he pays me $1 million, not even if he puts a gun to my head. I wouldn't expect that to happen until he runs for re-election. I will never vote for Donald Trump. Let the whole country go to the polls and say yes to tyranny. I will take no part in it. I wash my hands of it. I disavow it. I will not be a willing participant in the decay of our republic. Remember, there are no reluctant votes or hesitant votes or compromising votes or votes with asterisks next to them. There are only votes. And if you vote for an authoritarian megalomaniac, your vote is an affirmative and your vote is as affirmative and enthusiastic as everyone else's. You might as well put on one of those dumb red hats and weep tears of joy while you enter the ballot box like all of the other Trumplings, because your vote counts just the same as theirs. I have found no reason to believe that Trump will be better than Hillary Clinton. They are practically the same, which is why they've been such close friends for so long. They are both reflexive liars. They are both clinical narcissists. They are both power-hungry lunatics. They are both ruthless pragmatists who care only about increasing their own authority, not advancing any idea or ideology. They both adopt the ideology that suits them for the moment, and they drop it just as quickly. In the general election, Hillary will run a little right, now that she's not competing against Karl Marx, and Trump will run even further left, and in the White House, they will govern almost exactly the same. Though there are those who think that Trump will, at the very least, nominate conservative justices, but I can't fathom how they've come to that conclusion. Trump will nominate whatever judge can be approved, as will Hillary. Again, neither of them give the slightest crap about conservatism or liberalism. They just want to rule. That's all. The end. Besides, Trump is campaigning as a liberal in a Republican primary. Do you really think he's going to fight to put Antonin Scalia 2.0 on the court? Please. This is the guy who can't stop himself from praising Planned Parenthood. He did it again yesterday, entirely unprompted. He's not a conservative constitutionalist, and he's hardly pretending to be one. If you won't pretend in a GOP primary while trying to win votes in the evangelical South, do you really think he'll pretend when he's sitting in the Oval Office having won the presidency by praising abortionists and calling for universal health care? Stop it. Don't be silly. In any event, even if Trump somehow accidentally nominated an acceptable Supreme Court justice, that wouldn't be enough to override the fact that he's an oppressive dictator intoxicated by the smell of his own fumes. President Barack Obama has expanded executive powers beyond the worst and most feverish nightmares of our founding fathers. Trump or Clinton will complete the process and turn the president into something most closely resembling an Egyptian pharaoh. Trump has already promised to unilaterally censor the press. Will the Supreme Court even matter when King Tut is in charge? I will never vote for Donald Trump. I'll vote third party, or I won't vote at all, or I'll move my family to the rainforest and will subsist on grubs and wild berries for the rest of our days. Any of these options would be preferable to voting for Trump. I will never vote for Trump, period. There's a bit more to this, but does this sound...
Powerful.
What? Do you know who wrote this?
Powerful. I'm going to guess Ted Cruz or Lindsey Graham or somebody who ended up voting for Trump anyway.
Fucking Matt Walsh.
What?
Matt fucking Walsh. I'll send you the article. I only read about half of it. Bro, what the fuck?
Oh, no.
Posted on The Blaze back when Glenn Beck was more anti-Trump.
It's Matt Walsh versus Matt Walsh, huh?
It's insane, dude, how much these people are just...
They don't care. They so don't, and they're not beholden to this. It's amazing. Honestly, if we had a liberal/progressive media ecosystem comparable to what's on the right, Walsh would be inundated in this shit. This would be common knowledge. And as somebody who is in this space, I had no fucking clue he wrote this. Did you find this, or did someone bring this to your attention?
Oh shit, I think it forethought. Fuck, I don't think it was forethought. It might have been somebody else. I don't remember who sent it to me. Now I feel bad because they're gonna get mad, but somebody sent it to me, yeah.
And it's archived. I assume, did they take it down or something?
I archived it because when I went to look for it, it didn't exist anymore. Yeah. Or I searched for the archive and it was here, yeah. Because it was obviously deleted, but...
Yeah, it's amazing. Again, their shamelessness is their superpower. We talked about this. They have so many institutional advantages that enable Republicans to punch above their weight class anyway. Mm-hmm. The Electoral College and gerrymandering and separation of powers, 30 out of 50 state legislatures, a vast disparity in mainstream and alternate media. And then the other thing is they're just not beholden to things that they said, be it 8 years ago or 8 days ago. It just doesn't matter. And I think it takes something that's already inherently difficult for us and makes it almost impossible. Like, it's such a sheer climb. It's like one step forward, two steps back, and they get to play politics like it's a video game on easy mode. And this is just proof of it. Like, if somebody brought this to his attention now, number one, do you think he'd acknowledge it? And number two, if he did acknowledge it, what do you think he'd say?
Reading this article is insane. What the fuck happened to conservatives that they all lost their backbone? It's audience capture 101. This is why I never trust any of these fuckers. I don't know. I'll tweet at him and I'll see what he says, because apparently his tweet is still up. So, this was written by Matt Walsh in 2016. If I would post something like this today, it would be like this would be like an unhinged leftist article, right? Like, people say you're an unhinged leftist.
Sure.
But I'm sorry, you asked me a question of what would he say today? It would be something like, well, I might have believed that back then, but then I saw how effective Trump did govern, and I saw how woke and crazy the left got, and I realized now that, like, it's more important to unite to fight the people that are trying to trans all the kids than it is to not vote for Trump, I guess. But
speaking of Walsh, I sent you a tweet the other day of his coworker Ben Shapiro. Did you get a chance to take a look at that?
Which one? Show me.
Here, I'll send to you again. Well, it's me quote tweeting him, but you should see his original tweet. So, it's in response to Kamala's Twitter page talking about how Trump refers to Democrats as the enemy within and all this shit. And Shapiro responds with, "Well, Joe Biden did an entire speech from Independence Hall labeling his political opponents enemies of the Republic."
Oh, that speech that I've gone over and over again, where Biden, like a dipshit, like Destiny, like a dumbass, he tries to caveat 15 times. Not all Republicans are like this. Not even most of them. He does this over, and it doesn't matter in that speech. They always take like the one or two things. He says all MAGA Republicans, all the Republicans. Yeah, what a bull. Yeah.
And at no point does he even threaten to deploy the military against him, which is what that's the whole point. Trump has repeatedly said over the past week that Democrats are the enemy within. He name drops Adam Schiff and Nancy Pelosi, and I think even Paul Pelosi too, just as random examples. And you should look at this because it's a stunning example of like true gaslighting. Jake Tapper on CNN has confronted MAGA Republicans about this, Governor Glenn Youngkin of Virginia, and then I think there was... Who else did he talk to about this? He talked to somebody else about it. Now I'm blanking on it. And even though Trump is clearly referring to Democrats or his political opponents, they're like, well, I think he was actually talking about like Venezuelan gangs. But at no point has Joe Biden ever threatened to deploy the National Guard and the military against his political opponents, even if you think that some of his rhetoric against MAGA is spicy, which I don't think it is, and I don't think he can defend that proposition particularly well. Mm-hmm. But it really is frustrating. And I should say, this is still a coin flip election, man. I mean, we talked about it on Sunday, but there's a clear path to a Trump victory, and I don't know.
It's insane. One of the things I wish I would have done it this time, but I got so sidetracked with the J6 video and other things. I really wish that I would have implemented something in my community, some tech thing. Okay, I just had to write. I had to take a note. I really wish I would have created something in my community. I need other leftist communities though to collaborate with me to track like the percentage of people who could sign up to like vote or whatever. Because I think it would be fun, assuming that these people weren't all toxic, fucking degenerate fucking losers. It would be fun to go to like Hassan and Vosh and say, hey, like my community is more committed than your community. Like we're gonna take 5,000 people from each, and we're gonna measure like the percentage that votes. And I bet my community will have the highest percentage of the three. And we could even like bet like cringe shit on it, like whoever loses is to shave their head or something dumb, as a way to like get people to vote and to try to like find ways to verify it in government or state database or something. I feel like an effort like that could be a lot of fun. It would be competitive but.
Yeah, so I don't follow Hassan particularly closely. My understanding just from my Twitter feed is obviously there's drama going on with him and Twitch, or people associated with him and Twitch. I don't even know where he is at this point in terms of his advocacy. I know he went to the DNC. I didn't see him, but I think he got kicked out or something like that, or left in a huff. Is he even endorsing Vice President Harris? Because I will say, I'm pretty sure Kyle and Crystal are voting Harris. I thought, or Hutch was under the impression they were voting Stein, but based on the conversation that we had with Kyle and Crystal, they recognize that Kamala is superior to Trump and Jill Stein's not going to win. And so they seem to be backing Kamala and intend to vote for her. Do we know if Hassan is?
I want to say the last thing I saw was either him being indifferent or saying Kamala might be better, but I don't know if he's ever given like a full or like a full endorsement for Kamala or encouraging his audience to vote for her. Somebody could link me that and prove me wrong. I'm not sure, but
yeah, it is sad that the right ecosystem, they definitely understand electoral power in the way that the left communities don't seem to. There's that. I didn't actually see this myself, the full video, but I saw a screenshot of the video from ContraPoints, is it, where she says that certain people on the left don't want power, they just want to endlessly bitch about it or critique it or something like that.
Yeah,
and
they don't struggle to fix the struggle. They always have to have a struggle, basically. Yeah,
it's a huge problem. I mean, I think like Kyla, I got in touch with Kyla earlier today about the Las Vegas thing or whatever, and she's really excited about that particular canvassing effort. But is that the last one? Is Vegas and Nevada the last one?
I mean, probably, because I think because it's like a week before the election, right?
Yeah, we're 2 weeks out. Well, I'm excited. I'm definitely going to be there with a buddy, and I'm probably going to bring a couple of people and go out and door knock. You're going to be there confirmed just Saturday, or
I think
or what are your plans?
Let me check. Yeah, I think Saturday I'll be there. Yeah.
So it'll be good. We'll get to door knock and do shit there. I know people have asked again, what's the likelihood that Trump does the worst case scenario thing? I am curious, just like where your mindset is with this. If you were to bet that Trump actually tries to do some crazy unhinged shit in his second term versus just, canceling the lawsuits against him, what do you think the probability is? Do you think there's a pretty good chance, I guess my question, that he just basically uses this as a get out of jail free card and fucks off for most of his presidency?
I think the issue is that the scary thing is that he's so fragile and he surrounded himself with so many sycophants that I don't know what the extent, like I thought about this more yesterday, especially in the context of his relationship with Elon. Like if Donald Trump was willing to send in a formal request to Twitter to take down is it Chrissy Teigen? To take down her tweet, he'd make the same call to Elon, right? And we know that Elon collaborated with Trump before taking down that J.D. Vance article. Like, would Elon say no to Donald Trump or for anything? So
no. That's
something I'm really worried about now is Elon, who is, I think, one of the scariest actors in the United States right now. I don't even want to call him like a shadow operator because he's so in the open and so blatant. Like, this is the richest man in the world who now has like a huge PAC pulling for an authoritarian candidate. This is like, we're on like the worst path right now, right? You realize that, right? We're like on the worst path, right? The world's richest man is pulling for an authoritarian candidate who is controlling one of the largest, news media proliferator, like social media outlets it's just, that's so bad. So if Trump is president and he can exercise control through that, that's a scary thing. Like, I shudder to think of like who would be in Trump's cabinet. Like, holy Christ, who the fuck is the new DOJ head? Like, does Donald Trump get more Supreme Court picks? Like,
yeah, I mean, that's the scary thing, and this is, I tend to be more cynical. So, if anything, if my channel has many flaws, but one of the biggest ones is I too make more of a negative case against Trump than an affirmative case for Kamala, and not because I don't think an affirmative case can be made, but because I just think fear is a sufficient motivator. Just knowing the threat posed by Trump should motivate enough people. And for me, the big one is, they are confident. Lindsey Graham is confident. He said this on Sean Hannity's show, and others have echoed it, that if Trump becomes president and he gets a Republican Senate, they will have 2, perhaps 3 Supreme Court justices, because Alito and Thomas will retire. They haven't come out and said it, but with the way that Lindsey Graham was talking about this indicates that they are either going to die or retire. Presumably, they'll do a strategic retirement. Sotomayor is about 70 years old, and she's like a diabetic who has to walk around with a medic at all times. She could tip over any day. And instead of having just a 6-3 conservative supermajority, it would be a
Supreme Court justices
MAGA.
by one
MAGA,
by one
MAGA.
authoritarian fascist president. Like,
right.
Imagine like the structure. Just think about like the purpose and the structure of the Supreme Court and the checks and balances of the government. Can you imagine telling the founding fathers? So the Supreme Court, that check and balance on the two. Did you know that 2/3 of the justices came from one singular U.S. president who didn't win the popular vote either time? By the way, like, holy shit.
Yeah, no, 100%. And the thing is, like, a lot of people are saying Kagan and Sotomayor should retire, and I agree. I think they should, just to potentially forestall that outcome. But the other scary thing is, at this point, with Biden being a lame duck president, if that were to happen, I mean, I'd like to think that Manchin and Sinema would back Biden's replacements, because they have actually a pretty good, reliable record on supporting Biden's judges and Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. But, I wouldn't put it past them to kind of stick it to him one last time. And
I was going to say, it's a 50-50 Senate right now, right? Or is it?
Yeah.
So if one of them backed out, it's it's game over.
No, and you can't rule that out entirely. I mean,
you can't rule it out because the other political party is backed by the richest man in the world as well. Would you want to like how scary? Not to say that they would take bribes or anything, but like, holy Christ, you're in such an uncomfortable area. Yeah, it would be. And then imagine now you're losing one of your liberals, right, on your court, and it's
two of the three, right? So like, So that's what I'm saying. Like, and the court. And you know this because we talked about it, I do view the court as kind of the final obstacle. I think Trump and MAGA are the immediate problem, but this court and the way we've conceptualized the Supreme Court, I just think it's unworkable. And the more I read Michael Stokes-Paulson and consume more of his videos, I think we seriously have to look at Supreme Court reform, because the way it is now, it's not judicial review, it's judicial supremacy. We have a basically top-down relationship where the Supreme Court gets to issue directives to the president and Congress, and there's really no. I mean, there was a thing I tweeted about the other day. There was a Marquette Law School poll that said 90% of polled respondents support fixed term limits for Supreme Court justices and a strict enforceable code of conduct. That is a staggering figure, 90%. And so, if Trump is able to even further pack that institute, and here's the other thing too, like. We don't seem to like war game the possibility that this Supreme Court would take up any legal challenge to the 2024 election. But why not? I mean, why wouldn't there be a Bush v. Gore? I understand that they didn't interfere the last time in 2020, but they've also done things since 2020 that a lot of people didn't expect. The Trump immunity decision. I mean, I think, not to throw you under the bus, but I think even you would admit that you did not predict that accurately, that you thought that this court would be much more rational, and yet they gave the farm away to Trump. So if Trump contests this election, should we just blindly assume that the Supreme Court wouldn't take up any legal challenges and potentially rule in his favor?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, like, it's like that immunity thing too it's so crazy in their circumstance, because the court has, you call it judicial supremacy, like the court has in a way like given so much power. It's taken power from the legislature, and in a way it's taken power from the judicial, and it's centered it in the Supreme Court, and then it's granted it through the Supreme Court to the president. Because now here's something you have to. This is what's happened right now, right? If the president of the United States violates a criminal statute passed by the Congress such that he is demanded to appear before, the courts, which would already require somebody in his own executive branch to want to take him to court, right? Because his own DOJ has to go after him, right? The ultimate say on does Donald Trump get prosecuted for a crime is now in the hands of the Supreme Court justices that he appointed.
Right. Yeah, it's a total racket, and you're right. It's a good thing to remember that superficially this is an enhancement to the executive, but the longer game. This is why, again, I view the Supreme Court as the final boss of American democracy, because to your point, there's a leash there, and at the end of that leash is the Supreme Court. So you could easily say that they were actually taking power unto themselves through the executive. And this is just another reason why, I think the founders didn't intend for this to be the case. Like, they clearly intended for all three branches to have some sort of judicial interpretation. And Stokes-Paulson's really radicalizing me on this idea that non-acquiescence, where the president can basically just ignore the court if he thinks the court is wrong, is a perfectly valid legal strategy. He's like, because the alternative is the Supreme Court, as the arbiter of the Constitution, is by definition supreme. It can tell Congress what to do because it can interpret congressional powers, the same thing with the executive. And given that there are no other checks against it, that's a lot of centralized power in these 9 unelected philosopher kings. And to me, it's more shit added on top of this problem. And even if Kamala wins the presidency, like, it's less likely that we win the Senate. Unless we wildly overperform in the polls, we are very, very, very likely probably going to lose the Senate.
Sure.
And I'm still convinced that, and again, Republican politicians have signaled that they would do this, is if she gets a Supreme Court vacancy 6 months into her presidency, I am not convinced that they will confirm a single judge. I just don't believe it.
Especially because, like, remember, there's always, like, obviously we would give her a Supreme Court justice. Obviously, of course we do that. But it's like, well, but hold on. I mean, like, while it's true, sure, we would. But, like, obviously she stole the election. Like, are you really saying that we should, grant a Supreme Court justice to somebody who's so blatantly engaged in voter fraud, right? Because Donald Trump has already made, right, he's done the equivalent of, like, the political N-word, right, which as in the United States is saying, like, oh yeah, I would suspend the Constitution because there's voter fraud, obviously, right? Oh, okay, well, see, that's like the worst that's basically the worst thing you can say as president, right, is I would suspend the Constitution. You're putting yourself above the thing that's regulating our entire government. So, like, suspending the Constitution is way less of a big deal than just not appointing Supreme Court justices or confirming them, right? So,
right. Well, not to bust Lactoid's balls, but I do go back to him because I like to pick on this idea. You have people out there who are so enamored to a conservative supermajority on the court. That's all they care about. And so you have people who say court packing or court expansion or court reform, that's the real threat to democracy, not threatening to terminate the Constitution when it's inconvenient. And I should say, Vice President Harris has not formally come out and said that she supports expanding the court. She said 5 years ago she was open to it, but she's changed a lot of positions in the past 5 years. And so the whole thing is about preserving this conservative supermajority on the court. That's all these people give a shit about. They will sacrifice anything and everything along the way just to get Supreme Court decisions they agree with. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. It's scary shit. But, hey, we're going to have a chance to make a difference in Nevada this week.
Nevada? Oh, I was thinking in, like, Honduras or whatever country we go to next. I'm just kidding.
You just moved to Singapore. Are you, after further reflecting on that conversation with What's-Her-Face, how do you feel about it now? I know you were kind of disappointed with it.
The one I talked to yesterday or 2 days ago?
Yeah, Batya.
I don't know, man. I feel like I see people in chat saying that and I got an email saying maybe she's fucking Russian. I don't fucking know. That shit is fucking wild. That I couldn't. And, like, the way that she was talking to me, I didn't know if this was like a Russian psyop, like mommy dummy, like pacification, like, oh, if I'm just like talking nice, like I'm like a sweet little lady, I could never be mean or propaganda. And I'm like, I'm so mind fucked. I'm like, hold on, we really can't agree on a single basic fact about anything. That's literally impossible. Yeah, I don't know, bro. Holy shit. I don't know for anything. It's all fucked. It's all crazy. The world is crazy right now.
It is. Last question for you. Any ETA on the January 6th video?
No. Maybe I'll ask my duders. Fuck, I feel bad. No, I shouldn't feel bad. Hold on.
You're paying them.
Just check on how we looking at for a final ETA. Think it's still possible to release before end of month / on the 1st. I'll let you know when he answers, okay?
Yeah, please do. When do you do your next spaces?
I usually do them with Pisco after my Saturday thing, but I'm going out of town in a couple days, so I don't know if I'll be here for the Saturday thing.
Oh my God, you're going out of town? All right, chat, brace yourselves.
Fuck knows what's happening next? Yeah,
right.
The thing is Hassan still hasn't gotten banned, and I have to leave. I have to leave. Nothing happens unless I'm not streaming. Yeah, so I have to not stream, and I got to see if that's what happens. It's either going to be that or Israel will get nuked or something, I guess.
You're going to go on a fucking cross-country road trip just to try to make the one seismic event happen.
The one thing, yeah.
Hassan's Twitch ban. What are you prepared to sacrifice? What are you prepared to sacrifice, sir, given the stakes? Just in the hopes that it lands The fate lands
I've already
on a
sacrificed
Hassan
so
ban.
much. Okay, what else can you take from me? Okay.
Have you heard back from any of these Twitch executives about unbanning you? I saw that some
No.
other. Oh, okay.
I don't know if that.
you were-
I don't want that. That shouldn't really even be part of. I don't think the
It's
main
nothing to
conversation.
do
But
with
I
this
think
at all. Like I memed about it, but it's literally nothing to do with it.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's on some sort of like permanent blacklist, like the blackest of blacklists.
Well,
Anybody else?
there's a few people that like on his ticket that he has over there at Twitch. There's an actual note that most people don't have. It's like before you do anything, contact this person. So I mean,
He
that's
has
a
a
very
spec-
specific thing to have happen for him.
He has a specific case manager.
Well, yeah, like if anyone was going to make the mistake of giving him a second chance, it's like, no, come see me.
God. Oh shit. Well, Dan, are you going to be out in Nevada?
No.
No. Well, so much for that. I guess I'll see you in Miami though for the election.
Yep.
All right, guys. You have a good one.
I love you. Be careful, babe.
Love you too. See ya.
Am I quiet for you?
Yeah, but everybody just is fucking me. So let me see what I have your volume set at.
It could be on my end. Hold on.
I had you at 85. Now you got 100.
Wait, no. Put me back. I should be here. Put me back to wherever I was, I think.
Nope.
Yeah?
Fuck it. This is good. You might want to be a little lower. But
Okay. All right. I'll put it a little lower then. Okay. Which is fucked, I think. It's the stuff today has been crazy.
Why? What's happened today?
It's probably been the craziest day as far as meetings and everything else that I've done. The stuff that is coming down the pipeline for these guys is like, I don't think they understand it. I think that they're still there in like a meeting room, like strategizing, like, oh, yeah. I'm, pretty sure, I don't think Dan Clancy is going to last another week. Never mind 6 months.
Damn.
Have you like seen all of the other stuff about what's going on? Here's the one problem though. The thing that like may be kind of shitty. I've talked with a few people about this, even like internal Twitch employees, but yeah, most recently someone that used to be there. They're thinking that this might just literally be the end of Twitch. Amazon might just pull the plug completely. So then
I mean, like,
left
so
to join
even
on
if
YouTube.
Amazon might pull the plug, but even if they did, somebody would go for acquisition or something, right? I feel like somebody would try to do something with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I'm hearing.
Do you know what Eddie's net worth is? The Australian guy that owns Kick?
Probably no, I don't. Is the answer to that question?
Okay.
Do you know?
No, I don't. Eddie Kick, billionaire.
He's got some good money. I mean, if like you have people like X and Train and all that being worth hundreds of millions, he should, I assume, be.
It says 1.3 billion on Google. I was just curious. I was curious if it was like 50 billion or if it was like 1 billion or whatever. It'd just be funny for Kick acquiring Twitch would just be like the ultimate victory dance that they could do. Rumble would probably try to do something too though, but I don't know. Yeah.
Rumble only has stock to offer is the problem, right? Like they have. I don't think Rumble has actual real acquisition ability to do stuff like this.
Well, I'm sure they try
Yeah.
to raise money or investment or something for it, right?
You know where it should go? Probably to YouTube. That would be the natural home of it.
Well, but I mean, from a free market bullshit, right? That'd probably not be healthy, right?
I mean, there's enough streaming sites right now, I think, and
Are
YouTube
there?
doesn't even really.
There's like 1.5 or 2 maybe, right? It's like Twitch and YouTube are like the big boy competitors.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I will say, can I do like a little call to action? Would you be okay with that? Just, I know you have your own shit, but
Go for it. Call to
Yeah.
action.
Listen, for you guys in the United States, okay? If you're in the US, this is an important thing to do. I said this before, and I want you guys to just do this again. It actually only takes 5 minutes of your time, and you can do it now if you're on the West Coast, which is crazy. If you're on the East Coast, it's too late. The West Coast, you can do it. Google your zip code, okay? So your zip code might be 90210, okay? And then representative house, okay? That's what I want you guys to do. And I want you to actually call the number and talk to them. It doesn't matter if you get some. I'll put it this way. There's about a 20% chance that you'll actually get a hold of the actual congressman. I shit you not. The actual dude, like the Majorie, what's her name? MTG? Like, you'll actually get her. There's a 20% chance. The other 80% chance of the time, you're just going to get a staffer. Talk to them and tell them what happened at Twitch. That they silently banned Israel for a year, and then they lied about it, and they're trying to get out of it, and you're upset about that this happened, and that isn't that illegal because of anti-BDS laws and everything else. I'm not joking. Like, everyone here, like, doing emotes and shit like that, like, literally, just do this for yourself. If you guys go, if even 1/10 of you guys did it and called, this would be even more impactful, because I'm telling you, when these people get messages about from their constituents about the fact that, hey, Twitch banned all of Israel for a year, and then they lied about it, and then they tried to cover it up by deleting the threads and everything else. I'm going to tell you what I said last night. This is a good thing. Imagine Hassan getting questioned in a congressional hearing by...
It'd be even worse than that conversation with Jank.
What's the name of the guy with one eye?
Oh my God, Crenshaw.
Imagine Dan Crenshaw
cinematic that would be.
Questioning Hassan, but it will only happen, you guys. It will only happen if you actually call your House of Representatives. Just Google your zip code, House of Representative, do it, and just, even if you talk to some dipshit, it doesn't matter. It goes straight to them. Twitch banned, do you know about this? Twitch banned Israel for a year. For a year, silently. They didn't tell anyone, and then when we discovered it, they tried to cover it up and hide the evidence. That's it. That's my call to thing of what I want you guys to do. Please actually do it. Don't just say you're going to do it. Actually do it. And that's all relatively true. I mean, 100% true, actually. I don't know. Their statement was fucking unbelievable. Did you ever go through it? How fucked it was?
How like the excuse they gave for what happened?
It was so unreal. Yeah.
It would work that way with a smaller company if it was for like 2 days. But the fact that it carried on for a year, so many people brought it to their attention. Support was literally responding to tickets. If this was the case, they would have to admit to a staggering array of inadequacies, that they didn't notice somehow, that a whole region couldn't sign up for accounts, that they weren't paying attention to hashtags on Twitter, despite the fact that we've seen them pay attention to some, that they were ignoring content creators from a certain region, that they had pushed a major change like that without anybody reviewing it or understanding it or knowing what was happening. Like, there would be so many mistakes made for that to be the case. Yeah.
There's no excuse, I think. So the part about it, Dan Clancy absolutely has to step down. There's no way around it. But I think everything gets solved when he steps down, because the new CEO, you don't have, like I thought about before, like, do you need to be like, okay, I need Dan Clancy to step down. You have to overhaul trust and safety. There needs to be oversight. I don't think you need to do any of that. I think if you just get rid of Dan Clancy, what happens is that the new CEO comes in here, and the new CEO is like, hey, what happened to that last guy that was in this job? Oh, okay. All right. Listen, I'm going to not do what that guy was doing. So you guys need to fuck off. I'm going to get new people here. Like that basically, I think that's enough. You get rid of Dan Clancy and someone else will come in there and solve the problems. What I've heard from everyone, from every single Twitch employee, is that Dan Clancy is really nice, but he's fucking dumb and he just wants to please everyone. That's it. Like, that is the universal thing I have heard from people, is that he's just kind of stupid and that he tries to be nice and please everyone. That's it. Sorry, you're fucking incompetent. You left all of Israel banned for a year. Also, do you know what else I heard, which is even more fucked up? Is that, you know how they like to say, oh, we banned Israel and Palestine? I'm hearing that people in Palestine, Gaza, and the West Bank were actually still able to connect because both of them didn't use quote-unquote Palestinian IP addresses. They were using internet service based out of Lebanon and out of fucking Egypt.
Oh, or that, sure.
So it was only Israel that was actually affected by this. I mean, and it makes sense. I don't know if, like, is there like Palestine IP or something? PalestineCafe.com?
There is.
Like,
I think there is a country code and there's a geo tag for Palestinian IPs. But I've heard they can connect through like internet coming through the West Bank or whatever as well. I don't know how true that is. I didn't test it, but yeah. Yeah, pretty. It's pretty crazy. I will say that the reason why I don't like, forget that. I mean, Dan Clancy stepping down is probably good, but I think it's possible that if you have a CEO that's a fall guy, you can get away with not making a lot of corporate changes. Basically, instead of having a true corporate change in culture, they would just try to like limit the amount of dumb shit that people are doing. Because really, the big deal here, the corporate culture being this anti-Semitic is problematic, but it's the fact that they were able to do so much dumb shit. That geo-ban is just dumb shit. Allowing content creators to say shit like this is dumb shit. Yeah.
Yeah. It. How do you think this went into place? Like, especially, like, how do you think that person got hired who last job was whatever?
I don't know enough about the background of the hiring, so I can't even. I don't even know how uncommon the statements are right now. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. The geo-ban is not a result of anti-Semitism. I mean, like, have they ever banned another region ever because they're worried about gore? Like, has that ever happened ever on Twitch's history?
No, not as far as I know. They've never banned another country, right? Like the Ukraine, Russia, no. Like Yemen, etc. Like no.
Yeah. Well.
Sorry, I'm just typing at the same time. It's crazy. I don't know how this could have happened. The combination of all these things is fucking unbelievable. Like, even one of these things is kind of wild. Like, if it was just moderation decisions, whatever, you know, that would almost be okay. But it's not the moderation things. It's banning all of Israel. It's deleting the evidence that you were banning Israel. It's suppressing all of those people in the place. It's putting in super prominent anti-Zionist people into positions where they dictate what the policy of what word's okay. Like, do you know that Hassan's chat since October 7th has said the word Zionist 43,000 times?
That whose? Oh, Hassan's chat. Oh, that's not surprising at all. Yeah.
Yeah, 43,000 times. You know, it's because the people that, like, these people that are coming in and Twitch and safety, they decide, they make rules like, hey, saying Zionist is okay. Zionist pig dog, that's fine. You can say Zionist pig dog. Zionist pig dog is fine. That's what they say. But of course, can you say that about anyone else? Fuck no, right? It's Twitch sanctioned anti-Semitism.
Yep, it's fucking insane. Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, the people who touched anything to do or knew anything about this IP ban,
it'd be nice if I knew somebody in Twitch, although I don't know how few people have access in because it would have to be somebody from Trust and Safety that can review that Jira ticket. I wonder what the comments were on the ticket.
I don't know. Like, the incompetence is unbelievable. Absolutely. And your conspiracy theory also, by the way, I believe it. Unironically, I actually believe it now. You know why I believe it?
Wait, which conspiracy theory?
That the reason that they are keeping you banned is because then the Israel ban would have been exposed right away.
Oh. I don't know about that, but that would be funny. That would be pretty crazy.
Do you know what's so fucked up, by the way, also?
What?
Why would they, when they allow Ukraine and Russia and Yemen and all these other people to create an account, okay, and stream whatever the fuck they want, why would they care all of a sudden about on the global day of jihad? Why would they care about that? Is it because Jews are getting attacked? And we don't want to have that narrative. Only Arabs get attacked and not fucking Jews. Like, I don't understand. They have not done this for anyone ever, except for the one day where there might be attacks against fucking Jews. Like, am I schizo?
I mean, Global Day of Jihad could also mean attacks against Jews in America as well,
against
right?
Jews, yeah, against Jews, yes,
in America,
against Jews.
But I'm saying it wouldn't prevent somebody from America from.
You're saying like the ban in Israel.
The ban doesn't make sense either, because why didn't they just ban the IPs as well? Like, it doesn't even make sense. It's just
I'm sorry. Yeah. Do they think fucking terrorists are bringing their MacBooks out in the field with them and like, hey, dude, let's shoot this fucking execution video. Hold on, let me open up my MacBook.
And it's like, yeah, ISIS just like spent like $10,000 and got an editor to stage this execution. Oh fuck, but we don't know what a VPN is, and they blocked our ability to sign up on an Israeli IP. Guess we're fucked. Like, it's just so stupid. It's so dumb. Yeah, pretty dumb.
It's like it's. I think there's like this difference between pretty dumb to, um. But let me. So I always default to like what's the most likely explanation? They're fucking stupid. But like an organization like this, I don't think they can be that stupid to like miss that they blocked Israel all year. I feel like people would have told them that in analytics. There's got to be emails from marketing like, "Hey guys, we have some Israeli advertisers, but their volume's down." That has to be there. They're just lying. Um,
Wait, real
how do
quick.
you? Yeah.
Wouldn't this have been exposed sooner if it was a whole year? Dan knows people in Israel, right? That's kind of the weirdest part is that it was exposed earlier. Twitch just like ignored it completely. There were
And
hashtags
swept
on
it, and
Twitter.
swept it under the rug. Yep.
Yeah, there were hashtags on Twitter. People sent in support emails, and support responded and said, "Sorry, you're ineligible to create an account." And they, yeah, it's just not. They knew, yeah.
They literally swept it under the rug over and over and over again. And you know it's just I don't yeah, what I want you to explain to me, tell me how the anti-Zionist or whatever person, and she may not even be anti-Semitic. I mean, I think she probably is, but that's my opinion. Tell me how that like tell me how you decide to hire that person. Like, let's say George Santos is found innocent of his crimes. What company is like, yo, let me hire George Santos? Who does that? Can you explain that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty fucked. Pretty weird.
That is unbelievably insane. And you know that went through two people. Dan Clancy directly approved that hire, by the way.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know what her statements were exactly, or yeah, so it's hard for me to say.
No, but don't forget it. It doesn't matter about the statements. It doesn't matter how anti-Semitic or anti-Zionist or whatever she was. Why would you hire someone that has the fucking reputation and baggage of George Santos? I just said George Santos was found innocent. He actually didn't lie about anything. Would you hire him?
I mean, probably not.
No. What the fuck? And they hire the person, and this is the person like in charge of deciding what gets said and what isn't get said, as far as I know, on the platform. That's crazy. Chat, that's crazy. Chat.
Pretty fucked. Pretty wacky. Yep. All right. Anything else? Or I got other articles I'm covering as well. Memes on the horizon today.
Oh yes, one last thing. Sorry. So there's a pretty big meeting happening tomorrow, and I need, if you have specific evidence. Let me use one Discord channel. Well, hold on, real quick. In Destiny's Discord, there is a channel. What's a channel that's barely used? 1 second. Hold on. Just give me a second. I promise I'll be done. I think I already know the answer to this. All right. There is a channel in Destiny's Discord called Sports. Okay? And for now, we are going to use the Sports channel for another purpose. I need every piece of evidence that you guys have. Do not meme or I'll ban you from the Discord. Anyone who memes in that Discord, I will ban you. Every piece of evidence that you guys have of Twitch knowing about, so a user emailing in, hey, I can't connect, I'm in Israel. Every single copy of an email like that, and then Twitch responding. So a user voice getting deleted, a Reddit thread getting deleted, a person on Twitter asking for support from Twitch. This is the main thing I need for tomorrow, okay? Please, guys, help me get this, okay? I just need evidence of people that wanted to create accounts and contacted Twitch. And Twitch, if you're Israeli and you have an email, you can put it in there, okay? All of this stuff will be super, super helpful. That's it. I'll let you do your thing. Thank you.
All right. Love you. Be careful.
Yep. Bye.
Jeez. Is Dano over-exaggerating when he says Twitch is over? I feel like he is, but I also would have said that there probably won't be a single person banned from this. I am shocked that panel got nuked from orbit. 30-day bans right before the election. That's pretty crazy. So Who knows? Who the fuck knows? $20 at Destiny. Do you think I can leverage my veteran status to get a better position for a complaint if I calling the House of Representatives in California and call out Hassan and Frogan? Who knows? Maybe. What is this?
I will never have any fucking pity for any fucking soldiers. U.S. military? Who fucking who? I hope you get PT.
Dude, I swear to God, maybe this is a coincidence. Every single clip I've ever seen is when she's eating food.
Okay.
Like it's got to be the food at some point. That's the problem. Like I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. You can look, and it's not even offensive either. You can literally look at her top 10 clips. I swear to God, you can probably 6 or 7 of those just eating food.
I do the ones I do.
Oh, hi. Hey, what's up?
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
You have a minute. Wow.
Quick one. A lot of stuff going on today. Oh, you wanted me to stop calling it a civil war in the Donbass. That's fair. I shouldn't. I should just say military invasion, basically, from Russia. That is true.
Damn! Why do you agree so fast? I was supposed to convince you.
No, you don't have to convince me. I mean, that's just the talking point is they call it a civil war, but I mean, in reality, they were Russian. It was all Russian instigated. Yeah, of course, yeah.
I just really kind of like didn't want it to be to call you out on that because you are already doing a good job of making points about Ukraine and stuff like that. But many people like in Ukraine specifically who watch Lonerbox in particular were a bit like upset that he continues to call it civil war. And I heard you as well, because Trumpists now, MAGA people, are always saying like there was no wars under Trump, right?
Yeah.
And they bring up that, and you bring up Ukraine correctly, obviously, but it's just you can, I guess, say it was kind of a civil war, like for like a month essentially, because in the first few months after they annexed and occupied Crimea, they started transferring weapons, artillery, tanks, and things like that through Crimea to Donbass and give them to separatist groups. So the groups that they propped up and they were led by Russian citizens and Russian officers of the military and the FSB as well. So people like Girkin, for example, they are Russian citizens who were like leading the Donbass separatist movement.
Yeah, but you have to be careful.
It wasn't really authentic.
You can't call it a civil war because that's the propaganda talking point. Because if it's a civil war, then Ukraine is just killing its own citizens because they just want like freedom and prosperity, and then Russia had to invade to protect the people that were being genocided by Zelensky. Yeah, that's the propaganda talking point.
And never mind the fact that it only lasted, they tried to do it with just separatist groups, because for them it was much more convenient to take Donbass just by using local forces. But our people managed to push them out, and basically we almost reached our border. So we almost retook everything that separatist groups took, and they saw it, and they then employed 12,000 Russian armed forces there. So 40,000 separatist groups, people, and also 12,000 Russian armed forces people. So you really, at that point, you really can't call it civil war, even if you try very hard to, because there are actual like troops of Russia there. Yeah. And also just something for you to know, maybe if you're interested at some point, is that they do it all the time. So they said that it was civil war in Moldova, for example, in Abkhazia, Ossetia, which is
Georgia,
in Georgia. They did for example, Chechnya is within Russia, so it's not like a separate country, but they did the civil war wipe even there.
Yeah.
So they always use this. It's a hybrid warfare tactic, but in Ukraine, it just really didn't work for them because it was so unsuccessful. So they were kind of forced to full scale admit that they are employing troops there. At first, they really didn't want to do it. So so I would probably appreciate it if you just said war in Donbass, for example, didn't say like civil war. That would be a little bit nicer, I suppose.
Okay, I'll keep it in mind.
Yeah, how's your crusade?
It's going. It's crusading.
It's crusading. Okay, I believe in you. Okay, it's a couple of weeks, before the election.
Right? Yeah, like 2 weeks. Yeah, pretty crazy, but yeah.
Just something funny for you before I go. I just talked with with the soldier dudes from 33rd Brigade, and they actually asked me, they're like, so what's up? Like, who's going to win? And I'm like, well, I obviously can't tell, right? It's a 50-50 sort of thing. Yeah. And they were like, well, yes. And what do we supposed to do though? And I'm like, well, you just wait until November and just try not to die. and then we shall see
What's
what
happening.
will happen with you. Yeah, it's just kind of weird to talk about it that way. That people are like, well, we are supposed to wait until American elections to find out just how fucked we are. Is it like status quo with Kamala, or is it like something much worse with Trump? Fuck knows what. We actually filmed Ukrainians React with Dylan Burns in Kyiv, which I participated in. And he posted, I think, part of it already on YouTube. So if anyone wants to check out Dylan's, channel and see it, it's Ukrainians reacting to media people, American MAGA people like that, politicians, Trump ones, people like that.
Nice. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't fun though. There is no Hassan there.
Yeah.
Just a warning.
No drama.
But
No
MAGA
fun.
people are even worse, okay? So I'm not like, no, not worse, actually. I think I'm more angry when I hear leftoids and Hassan, but it's more depressing to hear people like Tim Pool and MAGA people. It just makes me more upset, It just ruins my vibe. It doesn't make me angry, it just makes me sad.
Yeah,
So,
it's pretty crazy, yeah.
Yeah, well, anyhow, not gonna waste any more of your time. Appreciate you. I was supposed to have a little debate with you. Didn't work out. Fuck. But anyhow,
Yeah, you're good.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Love you too. Be careful. Stay safe. I don't know why I say civil war. I think I've just gotten so used to saying it. It was a war instigated essentially in the Donbass by Russia, instigated and backed up by them in order to maintain the fighting in that territory. I don't know why I call it civil war sometimes, but